Hey guys, another quick video for you, just give you progress update on the V6. Just keep it short and sweet. So I've just finished tidying up the wires, looks a lot better now. And around the back of the engine, so just a bit neater, be happy with that. A bit of a blunder, in the previous video I talked about these pipes and how they are the hot water to heat the throttle body. Well, it turns out that this one is actually a vacuum pipe for the positive crankcase ventilation. So that was my air leak. So I do not have to take any of this off. That was a big gaping air leak. So now when I fire it up, it should stall, and then I'll be able to tweak the throttle body so that I get a nice idle. Or, well, I need to tune the idle, but you know what I mean. What else have I done? So the oil flange for the turbo, work in progress. Just need to tap that hole, quarter BSP, and then I'm going to put that on a belt sander. Put some sealant on it, put some sealant on the threads, and then put it on a belt sander. Try and get nice and flat, and then it should seal much better. I've also got a purpose gasket. Got a proper gasket for it rather than my own, making a shitty one out of wrong material. I was hoping to get a steel gasket, but that's all I could get for the time being. Also, one other thing, I am using some clear PVC braided pipe for the oil return instead of having a solid metal pipe. We'll see how that works out. I don't know the temperature of the pipe, what it can withstand. I have to just keep an eye on that. What else am I doing? So I've pulled a load of bits off the front of the engine. Oh, sorry, no, stop there. You can see there that I've drilled and tapped a barbed fitting into the sump. That just needs a bit of sealant on it and finishing off, and then I need to just clean inside of the sump. And then this plate here, that's just hollow, by the way, if anyone's wondering. Inside the sump, this is a massive hollow section, which I think it's just for added capacity because there's no baffles in it. It's just hollow. Looking online about people fitting Ford Mondeo sumps to V6s, to this V6, which seems fine, but I'm just wondering why has this one got extra capacity when the Ford Mondeo sump is much smaller. But anyway, it's for another day. So that's done, that's my return. One thing I'm a bit unsure about, and time will prove me wrong, is the height of the bung. It's difficult to tell where the oil sits when it's full, so I don't know if the oil comes up to here, where my finger is, or if it goes right up here. Because if that's, potentially this could be full of oil, this section, and I don't know if the oil's going to return back properly. We shall see. So that's nearly done. So I watched a video a while back where a guy, BMW, he was running no power steering. He left on the power steering pump with no oil inside it and actually cooked itself to death and set on fire. Or it set something else on fire. So learning from his mistakes, I'm going to take the power steering pump off the engine so that it's not spinning. In order to do that though, I've got to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with the alternator belt, power steering belt, and where it's going to go. So I've also removed the air conditioning pump condenser, and then a bracket to go with it, so I've saved all that weight. So trying to explain what I'm doing here. I've got the belt, so this belt here is going straight up instead of it would have gone around the tension, I believe, and around the other place. Anyway, you can Google the diagram for the belt. I'm hoping to spin around here. I'm hoping to run the belt. I'm going to have to buy a much shorter belt. So this is all the excess. And you can see there that the belt goes around the crankshaft. It goes up, there's an idle pulley up at the top of the back that you can't see. Comes down over this idle pulley and then around the alternator. I'm hoping to convert this into the tensioner. I can either get some longer bolts, and then put a nut in on the thread there, and then this can be like on a slider, and that can be my tensioner. So that's one idea. The other idea is to take the actual spring tensioner and make a brand new bracket for it, and that would go in its place there, and then it would be on the spring. So that's one option. I'm going to need to figure this out. I'm hoping to just use that because that's so much simpler. Because then once I've got the right size belt, I put it on, and then I just adjust these nuts so that it slides out and it pulls it nice and tight. That's the plan. One downside to this is, and some of you might have realised, is that the belt, this part of the belt that goes over the water pump, this engine's got a weird external water pump. That's fouling. Can you see it there? You can see there the belt. Hang on, let it focus. There. Oh no, it's focused the wrong bit. There you go. So the belt is on the wrong side of this stud. So that's going to foul and break. So I'm thinking I'm going to unbolt the water pump. Move it out 10 mil, and then I'll be able to hopefully slide the belt through one of the joints, rebolt the water pump on, and that's me fix. That means that if this engine's ever in a car, that to change the alternator belt is a big job because you've got to get in and remove all these bolts, but I think we'll get away with that. So yeah, bit of a long-winded explanation, but that's the plan. Hopefully when if I get it to work like I think it's going to work, you'll be able to see it working, then it'll all make more sense. So I'm going to leave it there for this video. The next job is to get on with the exhaust system. Think about fuel tank. Various other jobs, but yeah. See you in the next one.